Hi there, I'm Rex King. Welcome back to another episode where I review films currently in theaters. Today I'm looking at Avatar: The Way of Water. Avatar: The Way of Water has been 13 years in the making, ever since the last Avatar film. Has this film been worth the wait? Kind of. Sort of. Somewhere in between. Let's start with the story. The story focuses once again on Jake, played by Sam Worthington. This time he's settled down with Neytiri and has several children and has settled down pretty well on Pandora. However, the humans return to Pandora with a very familiar foe for Jake to face. So, Jake, fearing for his family, decides to take his family and go to the River Tribe to try to seek shelter. Now his family has to adapt to the way of the River Tribe. This film is not as good as I was hoping it was going to be. The story really feels like a rehash of the first one at times. It's once again somebody trying to adapt to the ways of a different culture. Except this time, instead of it being forest people, it's water people, and there's more characters who have to adapt. That's essentially the big difference here, and that doesn't really work for me. It just feels like a rehash of what we've seen, and it would have been fine if that was a small part of the film, but that is the bulk of the movie. It is them adapting to the River Tribe's ways. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have shown that. We definitely needed to show that, but we show it for a big portion of the film. And at some point, I felt like we had done too much of it. We were doing a lot of the same stuff I had already seen, and I just wanted something different this time around, and we just didn't get that. At least we didn't get it enough, in my opinion. Now, the characters are all written alright, but since there's a lot of them, and I do mean a lot, we have the main character's family, the head of the tribe's family, we have the bad guys and what they're doing, and we have a whole host of characters here. So it's really hard to make a film like this and have this many characters and not get a little lost in the shuffle sometimes. They really needed to pick one or two characters and make the film focus on their story. Instead, they try to make every character shine and try to develop every character as best possible, but it doesn't work all the time because when you develop one character, you have to take away from another character's development, and it just feels like the film was going all over the place at times, and it didn't work for me. That's not to say that the performances weren't good. The performances are probably one of the shining moments of this film. All the performers do a great job. I do feel like the casting of Sigourney Weaver to play one of the daughters was a mistake. Mainly because whenever she was speaking, I always felt she was older than what she was supposed to be. Like, she's supposed to be like a teenager almost in this film. And because she's voiced by Sigourney Weaver, I just heard Sigourney Weaver and how old Sigourney Weaver is. So it just didn't work because you have a teenager with an adult's voice, and it just took me out of the moment a lot of the times whenever I heard it. That being said, I do think she does an admirable job, and I do think that most of the actors are trying their best with what script they've been given. The biggest thing this film has going for it is the visuals. The visuals are jaw-dropping. They are absolutely beautiful. And I really enjoyed that in this film. I mean, not only do we get a rehash of the forest and everything we saw in the first film, but when we finally get to see the river people and the way they live, the oceanography of this world, it's breathtaking. And everything feels like it's real. And it's not just some CGI work, even though it is. These creatures have texture, depth. It's really hard to believe that this was all done by a computer. At the end of the day, Avatar The Way of Water is fine. I think there is some things that you can find to enjoy here, but at the end of the day, it's not as good as it could have been. I feel like if they focused a little bit more on what they were trying to do instead of trying to give every character their time in the sun, it would have worked a lot better. But who knows? Maybe that's just me. If you guys have a different opinion about Avatar The Way of Water, please let me know. I'm going to give Avatar The Way of Water a 6 out of 10. Again, I do recommend this film for anyone who liked the first film. I think you'll come out of this one with at least a little bit more enjoyment than I did. I thought the first film was okay, and this one I also think is okay. So whatever you thought of the first one, you're probably going to think of the second one here. Anyway, that's what I thought about Avatar The Way of Water. What did you think of it if you saw it? Let me know in the comments below. And just for a question for today, what's your favorite James Cameron movie? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.